show you guys the meal. Finally got it ready. So I got potatoes, I got beef. Also, am I sitting on a remote? Just move my teeth out, whatever. I got potatoes, beef, I got a little kimchi here, and then for my green vegetable, I like to have some spinach. I also have some Japanese barbecue sauce from G-Hughes. It's like 10 calories for 15 grams. So probably like 20 calories worth of sauce here. I don't really track it, to be honest. But this is a typical meal. It's really simple. You know, like sometimes I have gardein instead of ground beef. It's just like a low-key vegetarian. I know motherfuckers are gonna roast me for having something vegetarian, but I'll have that sometimes. Most times I will, just because beef is so fucking expensive. And low-key gardeins macros are pretty fucking good. Oh my god, so I haven't had kimchi in a while. So delicious. Holy crap. It's very expensive, but it's worth it. Pretty good for your gut microbiome. Helps with digestion a little bit. But yeah, this is it, man. This is the meal. So, well, I guess we'll enjoy this for a little bit. And I'm gonna do a little bit of some reading. Where's my book? For a little bit, I'm gonna do Android's Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick. And then I'm gonna answer some client texts. So, that'll be what I do for the next hour or so, or 2 hours until I have my next meal. It's a little bit later in the day. I'm kind of like packing all my meals a little bit closer together than normal, but we gotta do what we gotta do. Next meal is salmon and potatoes. Yummy. I also have some kimchi in here as well. And I ran out of sweet potatoes, so I low-key just did potatoes and sweet potatoes. Also, there's some mixed veggies at the bottom. So that's like some peppers, onions, and I think it's just peppers and onions. So that's my next meal. I'm gonna keep getting some. Oh, she got in trouble. We're gonna do some more work. So I'm gonna tap in, and I'll catch you guys later because I need to lock in. All right, we're off doing our cardio. We're at, let's see. Hold on. There you go. 12 minutes. Help me, Clark. Help me pass the time, you beautiful bastard. All right, so that wraps up cardio. We did about 45 minutes of incline walking, so that was fun. Watched Clark ramble on endlessly about cinnamon twists and genetics and something else I forgot. I was low-key just like zoned out at one point because I was so like tired. But W yaps anyways. Either way, I'm gonna take a shower. I'm gonna yap at you guys. We'll make some French toast and call it a night. All right, fellas, just hopped out of the shower. I've been just chilling, bed rotting, to be honest. So we're gonna go make some French toast. Now, I know you guys have asked for this recipe for, I don't know, a lot of times. But I'm finally gonna do it. I'm gonna finally walk you through it. It's so fucking simple. Okay, it's so simple. And then honestly, I'm gonna crash for tonight, and then I'll yap at you guys in the morning tomorrow before I go train with Ella. She has a surgery coming up Wednesday for her nose, so we gotta do a leg day tomorrow, even though it's supposed to be a rest day. Fucking, I'm so tired. But I'm gonna take her, train with her, spend some time with her tonight, and be a good boyfriend. All right, we're yapping in a Target, so voice is a little bit low, but French toast recipe pretty simple. Got an egg, got some egg whites in here. I'm using almond milk because I'm dieting, so I'm trying to keep the calories a little lower. Do about 100 grams of almond milk and about 100 grams of egg whites. I'm gonna use some of these sugar-free sweetener packets that were not open when I tried to put it in, so fix that up. And then obviously we gotta do a little bit of mixy mix. Get the ingredients, incorporated together, get them meshing together. And then you're gonna go and grab some sweet Hawaiian sourdough-ish kind of bread. It's really fucking good. And then I also use this low-calorie bread so I can have more volume because I'm low-key a chud. But I genuinely throw like a lot of slices. So I take 3 sourdough slices and then 3 white bread slices. And then I dunk it in the egg thing and I put it into a hot pan
and I repeat this process over and over until all of my pieces are, you know, cooked. I think it's a pretty simple process on how to make French toast, but here we are, making a recipe video on really not low calorie French toast. It's actually terrible macros, but it's delicious. Oh yeah, and then the other thing I forgot that I also do after my French toast is cooking, which, by the way, when you do cook your French toast, make sure you let it sit long enough. That way it looks a little bit crispier, like, you know, like golden brown on the outside. You don't want to like have, you know, soggy French toast. That'd be disgusting. But the other thing I wanted to mention after I'm done flipping this last piece is my peanut butter syrupy delicious thing that I have, which is just PB2 powder and sugar-free syrup. It's not rocket science. Delicious. I have a ton of this, and I like to kind of dip my French toast into it, or I drizzle it on top, depending on, you know, whether or not I want to eat like a gentleman or eat like a chud. So yeah, that's the recipe. So I ate this, and then I watched anime with Ella, and then I passed out.
Chill, bro. Yeah, I caught you ass on camera, bro.
Good draw. All right, well, what's up, guys? It's like the next day. I was filming for, well, everything I did yesterday. Fuck, what am I saying, bro? My CNS is so cooked. We had a leg day, so my brain is not working.
My recovery is
Well, I actually did more than you. I did calves. I also did adductor. I did 2 sets of adductor, 2 sets of calves. SLDL. Not really. You don't do as many exercises as I do. I kind of added on to my leg day.
Well, I do more sets than you, though. Including unilateral sides?
Yes.
Oh man, I'm gonna do math.
Sure. I was actually gonna start this little segment here because I wanted to talk to you guys about something that happened yesterday. I had a DM from somebody, and they asked me a question.
That's
about.
weird.
So I mogged you. That's what.
Wait, how many sets do you do?
17.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay,
you're mogged,
fine.
bro. Anyways, shit. You got me off topic, bro.
Okay, go ahead.
So somebody asked me in DMs about having, like, how do I have such a healthy mindset around, like, my girlfriend having, like, guy friends? It was a very parasocially worded question, and I replied to it on TikTok already. But I figured it'd be a good time to have a conversation about, I guess, what a healthy relationship looks like. I mean, I'm not gonna say that me and Ella are like the perfect 100% textbook couple that never has any issues ever. Okay, we're like, I mean, low-key we are though, type shit, you know what I'm saying? But no, like we have our own problems, but we've been able to like sustain a good, healthy relationship for almost 4 years. So
we have our ups, we have our downs, but we do it together.
So I guess to start this, let's talk about I think the thing that he was really stressing in that comment. I think it was a good starting place, but the idea around like having friends of the opposite gender. I know there's a lot of discourse around like, oh, you shouldn't have any guy friends or any girlfriends if you're in a relationship, like specifically to like the opposite gender. You shouldn't be having friends with the opposite gender. And I understand where that rhetoric comes from, where you have like maybe like a guy best friend, a girl best friend, and that like girl best friend or guy best friend is a little bit too close to your boyfriend or girlfriend. I can understand like having some feelings about that, but with Ella and me, something that I think, I mean, actually, you know what, screw it. I think you should speak on this specifically from your perspective, because like this was it was specifically kind of addressed about you and your guy friends, and then I'll talk about like my own experience. But like with your guy friends, how would you describe the dynamic and like the boundaries that you kind of like set?
Well, first of all, most of my guy friends are very professional because we're all in the same cohort. Well, I guess TLDR, I'm a master's student, so like, and everything I say is my personal opinion, just I'm not representing my university. Context out of the way. I'm required to say that.
Okay.
Like, if I don't say that, I get in a lot of trouble.
My phone tweaked out, so what were you trying to say?
Yeah, so even though the specific niche in STEM that I'm in does have a lot of women in it, like the majority of the professors are women, my actual cohort, does have a lot of men in it, and STEM is a male-dominated field. So lots of guys in my field. The only way that I'm going to network or have any connections in my field is if I make guy friends. So sorry, you kind of have to be okay with it. Like, it's not, there's no getting around it unless I want to isolate myself entirely. So, well, not isolate entirely, but like mostly. Yeah. So I have a few guy friends, and like, yeah, there's gonna be like one-on-ones when we're entering and leaving a class that we TA, and there's like that little in-between 20-minute space. But it's not like I'm going out on dates with them. I'm not like going out and going to the bars with all my guy friends and stuff like that and not inviting Jackson. Like, it's going to be me and Jackson plus guy friends, or it's a friends dinner type thing with everybody in the cohort, including all of the women as well. Yeah. So it's not just one-on-one date scenarios. And I feel like as long as I do that, then it's like, it's not awkward, it's not uncomfortable. And I'm also not putting myself in like a compromising scenario, not necessarily because I don't trust myself. It's more so I don't trust the guys. Sorry.
No, I think that's fair. And I think I've been in situations as well where I feel like maybe I have only one specific scenario where I feel like I was in a position that was definitely uncomfortable, but it was kind of unavoidable because we had a friend who was going through some trouble, some very hard mental trouble, and we kind of like as a group, and this is an old friend group that I was a part of, we kind of came together as a group to kind of give him support. So we were kind of throwing a party. Now he wasn't drinking at all, because he shouldn't. He definitely did not need to drink, but there was alcohol involved, and there were some people there that I had like past history with, and I was very much hyper aware of my surroundings and trying to make sure that I was being kind of more so closer to the guys in that group at all times. So like, the guys are going to do something, I'm going to do something, right? Like, they were trying to go to a gas station at like 2 a.m. Yes, walking to a gas station at 2 a.m. And I was like, I'm first one there. Like, yes, I'm going to fucking do it with you guys. So like, in that scenario where it could have been awkward, right? There could have been an awkward moment where if I had stayed behind and it was just like the girls and then like maybe like one or two guys there could have been something that could potentially happen. Because again, like she said, I don't trust the other person. I trust myself. I trust myself not to be stupid, but I don't trust the other person not to be stupid. So just like, if you don't put yourself in a situation where you do your best to get out of situations where you feel like something could happen from like the perspective, or not the perspective, like something could happen from the other side of the equation, right? Because it takes two people to make a stupid mistake. If you feel like that person is going to try something, then you need to do your best to stay away from them, or to get yourself out of that situation entirely. But yeah, so I think that's like the only time I've ever had where it was like really, really, besides the thing with Jake, we went to that bar.
But you guys were just playing pool.
That was the thing, and that's why like me and him were both uncomfortable as fuck. And we wanted to, like, we played pool and then we left. But
and I think that's another...
And there was no alcohol. There was also no alcohol involved with that. So, well, my end.
And I think that's another important context as well. So like, in addition to like not putting yourself in a compromising scenario that just looks bad overall, also don't confide in your guy or girlfriends or love the opposite sex, gender, whatever you want to say. Like, yeah.
So like me confiding into a friend that's a girl, you confiding into a friend that's a guy. It's like, you shouldn't be trying to go into like cry on a shoulder of an opposite gender, like especially related to a problem of
the relationship.
Like the relationship.
Cry on your significant other's shoulder, not the other. Like,
work out your own problems together.
Work out your own problems, and I think that's like a really big thing. Is like, be smart with like what you're talking about with your friends. Like, there's things that me and my guy friends would talk about that are about STEM, that are about science, that are about the research we're doing, that Jackson would have no idea. Like,
I'm not as smart.
He wouldn't.
I'm not as smart as you guys think I am, okay? There's levels to this shit.
You're smart.
Not to that extent, though. There's, like, areas in that field, like you were saying, like, I wouldn't understand it. That's just how it is.
Well, it's just, like, science is very niche. So it's, like, there's little tiny cozy holes of, like, information.
Yeah, point is, there's things that I'm not going to understand that she's going to talk about with her guy friends. And it's not because it's, like, a secret emotional trauma that she's not willing to express to me. It's more so, like, well, you're not going to understand what the fuck I'm saying, so I'm just going to talk about it to people who do.
Well, it's also like about like the program. It's about how much we're getting paid. It's like there's a lot of different things that we talk about that don't really have anything to do with our relationship, that have everything to do with like what I'm doing in my research.
Yeah.
That I can talk about with my guy friends and not have to talk about Jackson with it. But when it comes to like relationship stuff, I would never confide in them because I don't need to. I can confide in Jackson.
Yeah, and I've never confided in any of the friends that I'm like the girls that I'm friends with, which, to be fair, I feel like from the dynamic, you have a lot more friends that are guys than I do friends that are girls. But at the same time, I still have never once like went out of my way to initiate a conversation about a problem that I've had where we were arguing about something and I went to them for advice. Like, that's not what I don't think that's a smart idea. Even though like they might be a good person and I genuinely trust these people, it's still just like a weird thing to kind of initiate from like my side of things, and also for her side of things as well. But yeah, I think generally speaking, a lot of the major issues that I see with social media talking about dating, a lot of it comes down to like having no idea like the difference between what a boundary is versus what like being controlling is. And then I think also just having a lack of communication in general, not communicating your problems effectively,
or what you want out of the relationship,
or what you want exactly, like not communicating your intentions with life. Because there's something that me and Ella were talking about before we even got to this gas station that we're parked at, was just the conversation around like kids and like what the dynamic of the husband and wife is going to be from the get-go. Like, you should know what the other person wants out of life, because I mean, Ella is a person who's very dedicated towards trying to get a PhD. She's doing research, she's trying to do social media as well, and all these other things. So like from the traditional like housewife sense, that's not the life that she's even like thought of living ever, and it's not something I don't think you ever would want. So like if I were to go into this relationship thinking, oh, I'm gonna have this like this wife who cooks and cleans for me, like basically like my mother, like I would be very, very, very disappointed in the end result, because that's not what's gonna happen. So like that's another thing, is I think you have to understand, like, not everyone like sees life the same way you do, and they're not gonna necessarily just change for you.
And don't try to force it either.
Yeah, well,
if somebody comes up to you and says like, and this was something that like I've had personal experience with before you, when I would say like, hey, I really don't want to birth a child because I don't want to put my body through that. I don't want to experience that. And if I ever did have a kid in the future, it would only be adopted. And I almost always brought that up. I had it like before Jackson, like I would have it in like my profile and things, like when I was like trying to meet up with people and find people. And I made it very clear, and there was numerous times where somebody would say, but why don't we just have like a kid in the future? I'm like, sorry, I can't do that. So I would cut it off immediately. But like, I know there's women out there who are not going to have that level of like directness and that level of like, I want to do this. Don't make somebody unhappy to satisfy something you know they don't want. Especially
something that's life altering. Like, I was talking about this with actually one of my other friends the other day, and we were talking about this because now I'm starting to get to an age where people from my old high school are starting to like get pregnant, starting to have kids, starting to have families. And both he and I think, and this is like not anything against people who want to have kids, but I think right now, unless you have like a really solid, like let's say your husband is in a really solid place, let's say he has a really good job and you actually really, really want it, great. You can have kids if you want. But I think having kids at my age is objectively a terrible decision in most scenarios. I think most people are nowhere near well off enough to be able to even afford it. And I think you end up potentially putting that kid's like trajectory of life in a really bad position, because if you can't afford to take care of it, if you can't afford to, I mean, mind you, you're not just taking care of it financially, you have to be there for it 24/7 essentially, right? I mean, you're going to lose sleep, you're going to age, yada yada. So I think my point is, I think if you are trying to have a kid, like, you need to understand it's not a temporary small little blip in your life that you can kind of like work through and then it's over. No, it's for the rest of your life. Your life stops. Whatever you had planned, there's no more. it's the kid's future now. That's the thing that matters. So that's just what we were talking about. But
also something I would say is, if you're thinking about having a kid, make sure you plan to pay for its college.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant with the trajectory.
It's not just about like paying for the expenses of the hospital stay, of like having birth, of like what you need afterwards, like formula and food and diapers and yada yada yada. Think about the kid's college, and that's like 18 plus years in the future. You should be setting up a fund as soon as the kid is born. So if you can't afford that on top of the hospital bills, don't even think about it until
not even
you're
that.
ready.
Think about, okay, like let's say, unless your wife is in a position where she actually can, or you actually can as a couple, or like maybe the guy does it, like one of you either has to stay home with the child at all times, or you have to hire a babysitter, or hire a nanny, or hire a daycare. Like there's so many scenarios where people don't think about it until it happens. And that's why I think, like, long term, like I said, if you're in your early 20s, I don't think you should be having kids. I think if you're having kids in your early 20s and you're not like a literal filthy millionaire, you are probably setting your kid up not so well.
And don't force people to do things they don't want.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I think a lot of people are too young to really know what they want to do in life. So like if you're having a kid at like 20, there are things I wanted to do when I was 20 years old that I look back at now and I'm like, what was wrong with me? Like, I'm stupid. Like that's like the mindset. You become a genuine different person from the ages of 18 up to 25 because your brain is still developing. So
and the same thing goes for like suggestive of that. Like I think we spoke about this on the way here as well, where it was there's been this like uptick of people saying like, I'm gonna retire my girlfriend. I'm going to like make sure she doesn't have to work. House chores and cooking, that is work. So when you say that to somebody, don't say it in such a nonchalant way. Don't say that, oh yeah, you could just cook and clean, in this way that is like very dismissive of what that actually entails. Cleaning up after yourself and also somebody else's mess is a lot of work. It takes
not to mention, if you want to argue that it's not, like what is a nanny? Like what is a maid? What is a maid? Like you're paying a maid for what? Cleaning, cooking. Like you're basically saying, hey, do you want to do my housework, my free labor? Or actually not that, you're just like kind of like almost giving them this idea like, well, you don't have to really do anything and I'm just going to take care of you. But I think the other thing is like if the woman chooses that and wants that for herself,
that's a whole other thing.
Fine, yeah, but I think
she has to bring it up.
Yeah, I that's the thing is like I think we were talking about that a lot. Is just like, how does that even get brought up? Because I think from the guy's perspective, there's a lot of ways that you can bring that up wrong, and then it just feels kind of like you're pressuring them. But like if you get in a position where you're like, I'm making so much money, like my girlfriend doesn't need to work this really boring job that she hates,
then offer her to transition to something she loves. Don't just say, hey, you can stay home and cook and clean.
Yeah, so you can be like I'm doing this really cool job that's making me a lot of money. If you really wanted to quit your boring ass job that you hate and find something that you're passionate about, you can do that. Or you can take like a mini little vacation before you do that, and you can search and figure out what you want to do. That's fine. I think that's fine to offer. But yeah, like when you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna retire you and you can just be my little fucking housewife who does everything for me, unless that woman really, really wants it, like she really actually wants that for herself and she's expressed that to you, I think you unintentionally might be pressuring her into a situation that she might not be happy in. But again, you need to have these conversations with your girlfriend.
Be direct.
Be very open and honest about what you want from life, and you're not going to have problems because, again, as I said, most of these problems come down to communication.
And that's something we've worked on a lot too, was like being able to communicate.
That was what I wanted. I forgot I was going to say that at some point, because I really think this is important to know. Ella literally has expressive receptive linguistic processing disorder.
I'm surprised you memorized that.
I know. if she can, man, this is, I don't know, what's the right word for, like, what is it called? Because I don't even know. Disability sounds like the wrong thing.
It is.
Is it? Okay. So it's a speech disability where she literally has an inability to take her thoughts, quickly being able to transition her thoughts to her words. So like communication.
I can't think before I speak. That's like the easiest way to say it, is like when I'm thinking and I'm speaking, it's the reason why I take like a small break in my like speech cadence, because the words don't actually process and immediately come out. I have to think about it. I have to literally see the words in my head and then I can speak it. but I can't like do it simultaneously.
So like that's why I'm saying if Ella can do this, if she and I can work on our communication, we can get better at it, and we can develop systems that help improve the efficiency of our communication, and we just set like expectations and boundaries and understand what's actually like reasonable. Like I am never gonna expect her to instantaneously translate what she is thinking immediately into words because of that, but at the same time we're still able to effectively communicate our problems. So if she can do it, why can't you? Right?
It's
like,
literally just like for us, like whenever I'm having trouble with talking about something and we're in the middle of like a fight and I don't want to like escalate it and I want to be able to say what I want to say without misconstruing it, I'll say, hey, I need to think about it. If Jackson just wants me to say what I'm thinking, he'll say, okay, just say it. I don't care. I'm not going to get angry. And then we just talk about it afterwards. And rather than like going through this dance of me not knowing what to say, being silent, and then him like getting more angry that I'm just staying silent.
Yeah, because like you have to remember, especially from like the initial phase where this wasn't really understood as well. One big thing that people like, I mean, think of it from this perspective. Let's say you're in the middle of something, you're expecting an answer, and they take literally a minute plus to reply to you. Like, for some people, like, you're just anxiously waiting, like, what the hell is taking so long to reply? But now that we've established this, and I really understand the like what's actually occurring. It's not like I'm getting like frustrated at her because it's like, oh, she doesn't want to reply to me. It's more so like she wants to, but she literally can't. So I'm just gonna have to give it a second. It's fine now. But as I said, like if she can do it, right, why can't you? Right? I think there's no real excuses to make about not having good communication. Even if you have something that might make it harder, I think it's still an excuse if you're just gonna be like, oh, I can't do it. I'm just gonna expect my partner to know exactly what I'm thinking. I think you're stupid. And I think you're never gonna be happy at that rate because nobody's gonna be able to read your mind 24/7. So
I think that's another thing that is like propagated on like social media. Like nobody can read your mind, so don't expect that. And at the same time, like if you're going to need to have a direct conversation, if you're having trouble with that, just like write out a list of what you want to talk about.
Yeah.
And bring that to the person.
But also, as I said, like in the beginning of your relationship, you should establish like your set of morality. You should establish the way you see life, and you should have these conversations before, you know, like I think if you wait too long and you have too many feelings involved, it can feel like you're trapped. Because if you're with somebody who just sees the world completely different than you, completely different, I think it can be hard to like let that person go if you're like with them for a year plus and you're like, wow, I don't really feel like I know you as well, but you've spent so much time with them. I think that's what also leads to really unhappy relationships. So either way, I hope this random spiel of talking about relationships is helpful to people, because as much as like Ella and I are not going to pretend to be experts by any means, I feel like we at least have the what's the word, experience, just life experience to be able to talk about it long enough. I'm not saying like we're the longest term relationship out there, but I mean, at this rate, seeing how the dating world is and the relationships online, just they usually last like maybe a year, like most of them.
I'm so thankful for you.
I'm thankful for you, but yeah, it's ridiculous. So either way, don't listen to stupid people online. Not us included. We're smart. We're like super intelligent people type shit. Okay. But anyways, that's all I got. We're gonna go to, what is this, the gastroenterologist person? Okay, so we're gonna go to the doctor. Not for me though.
I have tummy problems.
I have tummy problems too, but like
all
not this
pretty
bad.
people have tummy problems.
You know, all pretty people have tummy problems. All Chadites have tummy problems. So anyways, that's all I got. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And until next time, I'll see you guys. So peace.